Good afternoon, everybody. I know it's a bit unusual seeing me pop up on a Sunday afternoon. Although by the time this video gets posted, it'll be Monday, and there's a very specific reason why I'm not waiting until later in the week for this week's video, as Monday the 25th marks National Cerebral Palsy Awareness Day here in the United States. So I figured, what better time to have better time to appear and have this week's reading on this day. I wrote a poem to mark the occasion, and it goes something like this: National Cerebral Palsy Awareness Day. On the 25th of March, in underserved communities turn in the spotlight. I've had my fair share of challenges, from my eyes, my speech, to my feet, but I've risen above all of it to be me, a writer and a traveler. Cerebral palsy used to be the entire story, defined by all the limitations. Now it's just part of the plot of a larger story that's being told. On this day, and every day, a reminder to everyone: people with cerebral palsy live lives of joy and wonder, unbowed by the impossible. Even if things take more time to do. After all, we bring our full selves to the forefront. So yes, when it comes to me and cerebral palsy, it's a subject that only in very recent time have I actually stepped out in front to say that it's something that I have. And you might take a look at me and you might not you might see, oh, he's a normal person on the surface, but having cerebral palsy has been such a part of my life. Granted, it's not nearly as obvious as it used to be. As growing up, it was a long list of appointments: occupational therapy, speech therapy, physical therapy, numerous surgeries, and all sorts of orthotics, braces, insoles, and even this ridiculous contraption that started at the hip to the point where I would put my feet in to help me fix my walk, with steel rods at the back of it. So as a result, I really just I wanted to be like everyone else, I wanted to be normal, because it was so obvious growing up that I knew that something was not right with me. Something wasn't right with me. I was different, even though I was in my childhood state of obliviousness. Only after I started reading through my old IEPs from elementary, middle, and high school, that I eventually realized that, oh, I have cerebral palsy. I'm classified as learning disabled. Like, I never really like was really I never really had never realized like the extent of what was going on until I started reading the paperwork that my teachers in all those years had written about me. But even through in the IEP meetings, like it all went over. It went completely over my head, as it wasn't really like it wasn't really explained. I knew the fact that I was born premature, and the fact that I had problems with my legs, problems with my problems with my speech, my sight. There was even a time where I briefly attended a Lexington school for the deaf and the blind at one point, but it didn't all seem to come together until much later in my life. And even then, like my physical, like the skills, like it took, like I was always felt like a late bloomer. Like whether it be setting up my setting up my own bank account later in life, and like later in life, learning how to use utensils. Hell, even being able to for a bit, even though dressing myself was a difficult was a difficult. And then granted, as I'm towards the end of my 30s, I haven't gotten to the full adult, haven't like covered all the skills one would need to be a functioning adult. I can be like I don't put enough attention into taking care into myself and taking care of myself. But the fact that I have cerebral palsy doesn't stop me. I managed to get through school. I have the degree on my bachelor's degree on the wall downstairs. I travel, even if it means like packing the hiking sticks in my luggage to be able to handle uneven territory. I do it. Like I take those trips by myself. I write. I'm able to put my emotion, my emotions, my feelings, my sense of place into the words that I post on all my social media platforms. I'm not exactly great at it, but it's all me. Like I can't, like, it's me putting my full self out there. I'm on my own 2 feet again, which about 20 or so years ago, I couldn't have possibly imagined walking without my brace on my leg. And I try to carve out my own existence where now t- I'm more upfront with the fact that I have cerebral palsy instead of hiding from it like I've done for so much of my life. I don't know if I would ever consider myself a role model for anyone else, as I didn't really have anyone per se to guide me through this. Like everyone, I mean, granted, like in elementary, middle, high school, I had classmates that were in similar straits. We were all just trying to figure out all of this together, but I didn't really have like someone really a mentor to look up to. I looked up to my sister. Is she kind of the model of like who I wanted to be in my life? Someone who is independent, is in full, is comfortable in in her own skin. She travels. She lives as much of an independent life as she can. And I guess through this like ramble of mine, that's what I'm trying to get at through this video. Is that people with cerebral palsy, we live lo- we live lives. We live lives of wonder and joy. Like we don't let we don't let the difficulties that are brought on by the particular types of cerebral palsy that we have, we don't let that stop us. Like we bring our full selves out into the world each day and try to be as much of our authentic self as humanly possible. There's no there's no reason to hide from it. There's no reason to hide from it. I have cerebral palsy. I've had it since I've had it since I was born, and it's gonna stick with me long after. It's gonna stick with me for the rest of my life. But you know what? I'm not gonna let it stop me from trying to live a life that's far beyond all the struggle and difficulty that I've encountered over the course of this lifetime. It's a part of my story, but it's not the be all and end all of it. Well, everyone, that's it for this week's video. I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and that you have an amazing week ahead.